Alright, so we're going to make some more updates to the community site. The first thing we're going to do is our right column. Now that we actually have some right column content where we have our latest registered users, the 5 latest registered users, we're going to start making it so all we have to do for every page we want to have that on is we just have to simply include or require a single file, which will be something like write.php inside of our styles folder. So what you want to do is on the index page, just take whatever you have on the right column and get rid of it. So we just have an empty right column. Create a new page and simply paste it in and reverse indent it if you would like. And then we're going to save it inside of our styles folder as write.php. And then if you have any PHP code in there, which we do, then you should get your syntax highlighting. You can go ahead and close the write file now. So if we go into our styles folder, we now have the write file. And I'm actually going to rename it to write-main. And that's because we might have different write column files for different things we want to have. So I'm just going to rename it to write/main. So in our write column, we just put in our PHP code block, and I'm going to use a require statement. And inside of here, we're going to have these inside of the styles folder. We're going to have the write-tac main.php file. So that right there will simply make it so we can easily have our write column on every single page that we want it to. So all you have to do is copy the write column code right there. And for example, on the, let's see if I open up a page, say the source code page, where we have just nothing in our write column, if we replace it and put in our write main file and save it, then when we upload the files, it'll show each individual one. So after uploading those files on the index page, because I've uploaded the index, the write file, and the source code file, if we refresh the page, we simply just have our registered users write column content. Go to the source code, we also have it there as well. So we can simply just have this line of code on any page that has the right column and that we want to have the latest registered users and whatever else we have in the right column. Now I just opened the videos page, and on the videos page, since we're using 2 different setups, instead of having it a left and right column on the normal videos page where we display all the latest videos and everything in our pagination, but then we go to the videos page, we don't have our right column. So inside of here, where we have this echo statement, normally what we would do is we would replace the write code with this, but then since it's an echo statement, we can't have our PHP code right here. So what you want to do is you put in a double quotation mark and a period to signify that we want to concatenate something on, and then we have our require statement in here. Get rid of the PHP code right there, and then we have this to signify that we want to have the end div right there. Or you could have it as an echo statement to echo the starting of the write column, and then another echo statement for this, and then have a require on a different line. Either way you want to do it, it will work as long as you don't have any in your code. So after uploading that file on the main page, if we refresh, oh okay, so we've got an error here. So let's actually just make this separate require statements or echo statements. So apparently you can't have it set up how I wanted it, but it doesn't really matter. So after uploading the file, if you just refresh, we get rid of the errors that we were getting, and we have our latest registered users right column. So that is just so we can put it on any single page we want. So if we want to put it on the request page, the contact page, or whatever, you can easily put it there. Now, the other thing I wanted to do is for the button styles and text box styles and things like that, we're going to use a different way to style those. Before, how we had it is we would use classes, and we had to declare those classes, and then with those classes we needed to have it in our CSS and everything. But there's an easy way to do this. Instead of declaring a button class, if we simply say inputs, and then we have normal braces or brackets, not curly brackets, and inside of here we have type equals and text, or password, or submit, or button, whatever it is, you would put it right there, and then that will style every single button without needing to declare the class. And also for the hover attribute, you simply just have it in here, and then a colon, and then hover. So we can do the same thing with our text box code, even though we don't have any code in there. You just simply say text. Now the other thing I wanted to do is to declare, or to set a background color for the normal button without having the hover effect. So the color I've chosen is simply a little bit darker than the one we already had for our hover, so it'll just make it a little bit lighter when we hover over it. So if we upload our main.css file into the proper directory, and after we upload, if we simply refresh the page, notice that we still have our style, we have our little bit darker, and I actually want to switch those around. So put this one here. So by switching those around, it'll change the color. So if we upload that again and refresh the page, we now have it a little bit lighter, and when we roll over or hover over, it's just a little bit darker. So it just adds a little bit nicer of an effect. Obviously, put it as whatever colors you want, but it's just a little bit of a simpler way to style it. Now the other thing I wanted to do is on the contact us page, we have our form that's like really small and everything. Notice that our buttons take an effect here as well. And then we have our right side, so we're going to implement our right column code and make our form large. So we need the contact page open. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have our right column. So if we just go to our source code page and just copy the right column code, replace it right there, that gives us our right column code. And the form, I'm going to set styles on them. And I'm going to say width, colon, semicolon. Inside of here, I'm going to say 400 pixels. And I'm going to get rid of the size attribute for both of these. So we just want to copy that. Oh, I spelled width wrong. There we go. So just copy this, paste it in here. Also, I'm not going to remove the cols and the rows attributes. I'm simply going to blank them out, because sometimes in Internet Explorer, if you don't have those, the page will return with errors for some reason. So whatever. So we have the width, and we also need to declare height. And I'm going to say 200 pixels. So if we upload our contact file now, and after we upload that, if we refresh the page, we now have it larger and everything. Everything's the same width and height, or width, not height. And we have our right column in there. So obviously it looks nicer already. So yeah. Now the last thing I wanted to do is, since we have our add video page, and eventually we're going to have other, I guess, sort of CMS or content management system type pages, like the add video page, and eventually an edit video page, and other content that I decide to add. So if we log in, so as soon as it logs in, redirects, we have an add video link that takes us to our add video page. But the problem with this is we don't have, it makes it kind of difficult, I guess I would say, to sort of change it and have lots and lots of things in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another page, and I'm just going to copy all the source code page, paste it in, and remove the left column content. And I'm going to save it. Eventually we're going to change all of our title and our metadata. And I'm going to change this as usercms.php, or I'm going to save it as usercms.php, sorry. So I'm going to save it as usercms, and I'm going to change the title to user CMS. So it's going to be the user content management system, and essentially this is just going to contain a bunch of links to various pages. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all the metadata for now, and I'll figure out what I want to put in there for later. So inside of here, we're simply going to have our link to the our add video page. So if we just take our link here, just copy it, and if we just paste it in here, and instead of putting a break tag, I'm actually going to make it a table. So table, and end the table. So inside of a table, we have to have our columns, or our row, sorry, and then inside we have our columns. Now for now, this is just going to be a 2-column setup. So it's just going to be this. So inside of here, we're going to have our add video link. So we have to our site, and since the site is a variable, a PHP variable, we have to put it in PHP code block and end the PHP code block. Oops. There we go. And after which we need to make it so it echoes the site variable. I'm all over the place, sorry. So there we go. So it's echoing the site variable, and it's going to go to the add video page. So this is going to be a link that's going to be within our user CMS page. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So for now, I'm just going to leave that as a blank link. And all we have to do later when we want to add other links to our CMS, our user CMS, we just simply have to add them into this page, making it sort of a centralized system. And maybe after we have a couple of pages for user CMS, we'll kind of style this page and make it look fancy and nice. So the last thing I'm going to do is set a cell spacing of, say, 5 pixels. Might help if I can spell spacing right. Or pixels, even though it's only 2 letters, px. So then I'm going to also set a cell padding of 5 pixels. So what we need to do now is in our status file, we need to change our text to user CMS and change the page to user CMS. So what we need to do now is just upload our status and our user CMS files. Okay, so after uploading the files, if we simply refresh our page, we now have a link to our user CMS, which that S needs to be capital. So after we upload that again, refresh the page, we now have our user CMS link. So if we click on it, it goes to our user CMS page, and we have our add a video link. So obviously right now it's just a link on the page, that's it. But after we have maybe 1 or 2 more links on here, we'll maybe style it, or maybe use some images or something for the CMS. So yeah, so this is going to be the end of this update video. Coming soon, if it's not already uploaded, is we're going to start working on an admin CMS panel, an edit videos page, which will probably be before the admin CMS panel, and some other pretty good things I got in the back of my head. So check out those